Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at Wave 1 of McFarlane's Music Maniacs. Now these are 6-inch scale, sort of basic type figures. We have both Ozzy Osbourne and Alice Cooper. Thought these guys were pretty cool, and I'm interested in getting the sort of Rob Zombie type figure from Wave 2. I got these guys from Amazon.com, they finally arrived today. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, McFarlane Toys. Authenticated, limited to 7,500 pieces. Music Maniacs, metal. Ozzy Osbourne. Here he's in the package, looks like he has a cane, microphone, and some bat wings. On the back, here he is. And here is the barcode, if that helps. And then we have Alice Cooper. Here he is in the package, very similar to Ozzy's. He's got a microphone and a snake. Blood all over his shirt, top hat, makeup around the eyes. The back, here they are. There is the barcode. This one is limited to 8,000 pieces, so I guess they anticipated this one selling a little bit better than Ozzy. So with no further ado, let's open them up. Alright, now that these figures out of the package, here they are with all their accessories laid out. We have display stand, microphone, collector's card, and then Alice has a snake wrapped around his neck, and Ozzy has some bat wings. Two rock and roll legends right in front of you. I do wish they were at the 7-inch scale, but 6-inch works for me as well. In this video, we're going to take a look at each of the figures individually. We'll check out their accessories, height, and articulation, and we'll compare them with a bunch of other action figures. So let's go start off with Alice Cooper. So here's Alice Cooper. He comes with a display stand, collector's card, cane, snake, and microphone. So let's take a look. Starting with his face, he's got the signature black makeup around the eyes, and it's kind of running down almost like tears. He has a very large top hat, and it has studs all over it. He's got long hair. I always thought Alice Cooper kind of looked like Todd McFarlane, at least a little bit of resemblance there. He's got a white button-up shirt with blood all over it. He's got a black jacket with gray sleeves with sort of studs, almost like spikes all over it. Kind of interesting. Skull belt buckle. This is a retro type figure, kind of like the 66 figures, articulation style and scale. Looks like single jointed elbows. They do have rotation, and then single jointed knees. As a whole, it's a pretty cool looking figure. I think the face actually looks really good for a retro figure. I like the paint job, sculpt, articulation's a little bit basic, and I wish they were a little bit larger, but still pretty cool to add to the collection. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. Like I said, for a retro figure, I think they both look really good. The face, the body. So they did kind of a shitty job on the paint job on his shirt, his sleeves, and his hat. Now, the black part of the jacket, I have no problem with. His sleeves, though, they made like the whole sleeve gray, but really the sleeve should be black with little silver studs all over it. And the hat should look just like the jacket, even if they have a lighter color gray, which, you can kind of see on the picture. It's a little bit like that, but it's mostly just an extension of his jacket with studs all over it. And his hat's the exact same way. Now, it just doesn't look very good. It look to not come across very good in action figure form. They could have made the whole thing black and then put a bunch of silver studs, but I think that would be too extensive a paint job for a kind of retro basic figure like this. And then the hat here should look exactly like the sleeves, and they're done totally different. This one is all silver with little studs all over it. This one's all black with studs all over it. They should really both have a black base with silver studs all over it, so it just looks weird, disappointing, and not really like the actual outfit. Now let's check out his accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. Here's his collector's card. As you can see, Alice Cooper wearing the exact same outfit that they made the figure from. You can see the studs on his sleeves and hat, blood on his shirt. On the backside, there is a certificate of authenticity. This is number 4,777 of 8,000. They really didn't make too many of these guys. Now for his display stand and microphone, they come in two separate pieces. When put together, they're going to look like this. We have a sort of rectangular base with 2 pegs for the pegals on his feet, and the microphone. Now, I appreciate getting a microphone. It's very appropriate for these rock stars, but I personally hate display stands, so I hate the fact that you have to have this ugly display stand under your figure to have him with a microphone, because it's damn sure not going to stand up by itself. Here's Alice Cooper utilizing the display stand and microphone. Like I said, I don't really like display stands. I think they look ugly under the figures and break up your display, depending on what you're doing. Now, he doesn't even need the display stand. These figures stand up just fine. It would have been nice if he had a microphone without it. Just my 2 cents. He also has his cane. The cane is a little bit warped from the packaging. It's got a gold handle and a nice textured cane. And then here's Alice Cooper holding and leaning on that cane. And his final accessory is this snake. Now, rock stars always want to do something extreme or memorable or noticeable, like wearing a dangerous snake around their neck or maybe biting a bat's head off. We have this large snake with 0 articulation. There's a little bit of texturing on the skin there. You can see the snake's head here and the tail on the other side. And then here's Alice with a snake wrapped around his neck and resting on his shoulders. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at the figure and his accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the very top of his hat, standing at about 6.7 inches tall, which can translate to around 17 centimeters. And if you think his hat is super tall, his head probably stands around, 6.1 inches tall, that area. And for his articulation, which is kind of basic, kind of retro, but it's okay. It reminds me of the McFarlane Batman Classic TV series line. Starting with his head, of course, you're going to rotate side to side, up and down the tiniest bit. Shoulders on a ball joint goes out a little bit less than 90 degrees, up, down, around. Single jointed elbow, about a 90-degree bend with rotation. His wrist can simply rotate. Torso is one solid piece. He's got a traditional waist swivel, old school style hips, go out about this far. Single jointed knee, once again with rotation. And that is it. So the articulation is not a good thing on this figure, but the figure itself does look pretty good. I always thought Alice Cooper kind of resembled Todd McFarlane. I know they're sort of buddies in real life. I've seen Todd McFarlane hang out with Alice Cooper and Ozzy Osbourne. He's made figures with them recently and back in the day. And now for Ozzy Osbourne, another rock star legend, or metal depending on what you consider his music. He has a display stand, microphone, some bat wings, and a collector's card. So let's take a look at him. His outfit is a little bit simpler than Alice Cooper's. He's got a black hat, black jacket, black shirt, and black pants, black shoes. All in black. He's got screaming face, a little bit of black makeup around the eyes. Eyes look a little bit messed up, kind of weird looking, especially his left eye. I don't even see the actual eye in there, just the white part. It's pretty weird, sloppy. Which is interesting because the rest of the paint job looks pretty crisp, even his mouth and his teeth. He's got long brown hair. Overall, he looks pretty good. Like I said, these are basic figures. You can see where the wings will pop into his back. But I like him. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. On his left eye, the pupil is kind of lower looking down, and then the glare on it just makes it look quite off. You look up close, it looks a little better in person than on camera. Still, it doesn't look bad. Just that glare on that eye makes it look really weird on camera. If you kind of move it around a little bit, you can see it kind of normalizes, but both the pupils are kind of downward, and it looks odd. Another nice little attention to detail. He has 2 rings on his right hand, and then a ring on his left hand, as well as Ozzy tattooed onto his knuckles. And for his accessories, starting off with the boring stuff again. Here's the collector's card wearing the same outfit. Ozzy Osbourne. On the back, certificate of authenticity. This is number 1,555 out of 7,500. I guess they expected to sell more Alice Cooper figures than Ozzy figures. Here's his display stand put together. It's exactly the same as Alice Cooper's, and I have the same complaints. I'm not a fan of display stands under the figure, and I don't like the fact that you're required to use a display stand to have the microphone. Here's Ozzy, utilizing the display stand and screaming into the microphone. And I guess since I don't like the display stand, I could always have him holding the microphone like this, but it's so thin in his hand, you have to balance it onto the ground like this. As you can see, it just sort of falls through, dangles. So it doesn't really work like this. You really do need to use a display stand or not use a microphone. But it's such a crucial part of their image. And as final accessory, we have some large bat wings. Ozzy's always been into, bats and demonic stuff. The wings actually look really good. We have a peg to attach into the peg hole on his back. The wings have a really nice paint job, nice sculpting. It looks good. Very pleased with what I'm seeing so far. And here's Ozzy wearing those bat wings. I guess now I can put him on my Batman shelf. And now for his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing about 6.2 inches tall, which can translate to just under 16 centimeters. And for his articulation, which is going to be pretty similar to the other figure. His head, rotate side to side. The hair does a pretty good job getting over his shoulders. Looks up and down the tiniest little bit. Shoulders on a ball joint, goes up less than 90 degrees, quite a bit less. Up, down, around. A single jointed elbow, 90-degree bend with rotation. Wrists can also rotate. One solid piece in the torso. Traditional waist swivel. Legs go forward and back about that far. Old school style hips. Single jointed knee with rotation. And that's the articulation. Here's the only other Ozzy Osbourne figure that I have. Coincidentally, it's also by McFarlane Toys, but from a long time ago. Now, I don't really like this figure. I think it kind of looks bad. It doesn't move for shit. Kind of sucks. I believe I bought this guy for all the accessories. A bunch of bats. Some with the head on. Some with the head off. Here's a look at these two rock legends on stage. Singing together. Imagine being in a concert with both these guys in their prime. Now let's check them out. Next to some action figures from different various companies. So we can see how they fit in, both scale and style-wise, in case you don't know which lines you can mix them with. Since they're McFarlane Music Maniacs, they're the 6-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of these smaller action figure lines I collect, and work my way larger. But first, let's check them out with some of the McFarlane Toys brothers. Here they are, next to some McFarlane DC Multiverse 7-inch figures on the left, and some McFarlane animated 6-inch figures on the right. And they don't really fit in the scale or style-wise with either one of these lines very well. But they are almost the exact same style and scale as McFarlane's 1966 classic Batman TV series line. And now, with some Jazzwares Fortnite figures and some SH Figure Arts action figures. Here they are, next to a pack of Magic Erasers. And here they are, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends and Mafex figures. And here, with some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Mezco figures. Then, with both some Jazzwares and Mattel wrestling figures. Next, with some NECA and DC Direct figures. And finally, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys, and some Jakks Pacific wrestling figures. So overall, these are so okay Rockstar figures. They're kind of crappy, but they're kind of supposed to be. Well, not really crappy, but retro and basic. I do think the sculpt and paint job is excellent on these guys. The faces look pretty good. The detail on the clothing, etc. Now I'm going to say, I like the Ozzy Osbourne figure a little bit better than the Alice Cooper figure, as I think they really messed up on the coloring on his sleeves. Could have been done a lot better, and it wouldn't have even been that difficult. Ozzy Osbourne kind of looks like a regular guy. He could be a good thug or henchman for your 6-inch scale figures. Their accessories are pretty cool. I like the snake, I like the bat wings. The microphones, I have mixed feelings on. The articulation, it's pretty weak and limited. If I were to rate these guys, probably give Alice like a 5.5 and then Ozzy like a 6. The figures are nice, but a little smaller than I'd like. The articulation kind of sucks, and they have a couple of minor paint defects, particularly around the eyes on both the figures. Nothing major, but definitely something to point out. If they were 7-inch, like the rest of McFarlane stuff, I think I would enjoy them much more than I do as is. But I'm still happy to have them, and no regrets. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say with the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.